The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, squeezably soft host. Once more, we're back into the breach, my friends.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
Well, if we didn't think we had any volume come Thursday and then Friday and then today, well, you were right. Volume's been falling since Wednesday dramatically. It was fairly light come Friday. Today we got into 1230 and didn't even have a billion shares on the NYSE. So this is going to be a very light day. You never know how the end of the day will come in. But as we talk here at 2:05 Eastern Time in God's country in Florida, we've got just a hair over 1.6 billion shares on the NYSE. Normally you want to be seeing something like 2.2 billion shares as you roll in at this time. And that tells you just about everything you need to know. That is that this market is incredibly light. Now, it's not uncommon to see bigger volumes in the week days like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and light days on Mondays and Fridays. But this is kind of scary light. And we'll keep and watch this throughout the close today. But, you know, just from Wednesday to Friday, there was $50 billion less traded. And my guess is if this volume comes in here today, from Wednesday to today, we're probably talking 65 or $70 billion lighter than Wednesday. There is not a lot of trading going on. So be very careful about very fast markets, because markets like this, there's a couple of reasons, but there aren't, let me put it this way, the exits are extra narrow right now. There isn't a lot of volume to accept any kind of real problem, although the market tends to ignore just about every one of them. It's always the day when it doesn't ignore them that becomes a problem. We're off 1.5 points in the S&P cash. Again, volume just 1.63 billion shares at 207. And, you know, I'm going to have to go back a few years, 3-4 years, where this would have been, this kind of volume may have been typical in the summer. So we do have extra light volume as we start the day. So we'll check it out. But what else can you say? Anyway, not a lot of movement. The NASDAQ's off a little bit more. It's off 6 points. We've got a developer conference rolling right now with Apple. It started to sell off this morning when there weren't any leaks for anything new. They've been kind of pushing a few things out here today. And I guess right now they're pushing a very expensive Power Mac that has an AMD processor in it. Take a quick look and see if anything's happening with AMD. And it's up 35 cents. The problem is that Apples just don't sell that many. You're going to sell 15 to 20, I'm going to say 15 to 20 PCs for every AMD chip that's sold out here. So even if they put it in their Power Mac, there just isn't that much business in there for AMD. But, it was down to 1080. It's up to 1126. So could have been worse. Could have not been in the Apple Power Mac. But that's about it. Let's get started with this party into gear.
Then it's all just just a little bit of history repeating.
It is history repeating. It doesn't repeat exactly, but it does rhyme. In 1883, John Maynard Keynes, who ends up doing more than any other individual to undo the legacy of Adam Smith, is born in Cambridge, England. Between World War I and World War II, Keynes devises the theories that lead to maximum government intervention in economies around the world. His criticisms of free markets, however, do not deter him from making a small fortune in the stock market. I did see also that a certain socialist candidate that was running for president made $1 million last year, only in America. Can people that disdain capitalism make so much money from it? Just interesting stuff. Anyway, on this day in 1883, Maynard Keynes had a lot of interesting quotes that I pop up from time to time. But if you're wondering who started the molestation of free markets, it was John Maynard Keynes. On this day, his mother bored him in 1883. So what else do we have going on out here? We want to get to some charts fairly early. Let's take a look at Apple and see if there's anything out here. Apple did oh, did I do that? Yeah, I did. Come on. Apple did kind of get a little bit of a bounce on Friday. Volume came in at 27.7 million shares. Today, we've already got 18 million shares. That compares to this heavy volume down day with about 51 million shares on the 17th of May. That's 149.71. I suspect we're going to have to test that, and probably will. He had kind of a little of a pattern setting up for a double repo. You broke that pattern on Friday, but you're headed right back down. And my guess is that the first stop in this is about 143, 142. And if they continue to do nothing, 125 has to be open. Just a lot of things not going their way. Maybe they'll announce something here today that changes that. But both Microsoft and Apple not really showing a lot of new stuff. And, of course, if you don't put a ship out to sea, your ship will not come back in. And I think that's what we're kind of looking at right there. Let's take a look at the other FANG stocks real quickly on a day when much is moving. Netflix has just a little tick higher and pulled back in. And, again, fairly light volume today. So we'll take a look at that. What else is going on? Yeah, pretty light day out here. Let's take a look at Amazon. Of course, that's all they were crowing about this morning. And that was that, man, this is slow. Okay. We were up on 3.7 million shares on Friday with Amazon. We are higher today. Got about half that volume, a little more than half that volume of Friday today with that much time left. Man, that looks like that's going to be light too. Anyway, light volume day, 1.66 billion shares so far on the NYSE. We're off 2 points in the S&P cash. Very, very light everywhere you look. No different than Friday. We'll be back after this short commercial interruption.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen, live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den, absolutely free, for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And what do we have out here with AMD? Not much going on with this one. It's up a little, but not much juice on that news. See how volume comes in at the end of the day. This thing really had high volume back down to the $9.85 low of May 3rd. And my guess is we need to test that. Kind of came close. But I still think you were about 60 cents high on the June 2nd spike, actually from Friday. And that's kind of nice to get into that candle. But I think you need to test the 985. Let's see what else is going on around town. COGT, an anonymous short seller, says that there is all kinds of stuff coming down the pike with investigations by the feds and Johnny Law. This thing got hammered. Not a huge volume stock out here, but down. Used to be a good trading stock. I used to trade this one years ago. COGT. Anyway, heavy volume down. 3 million shares are already kind of coming back a little, but I don't know how you'd short a $5 stock, but somebody's interested in it. Normally when you hear these stories, you want to watch this in a few days because they'll push all this stuff because they've been short for a real long time. The stock was higher, and then you find out later on that other things are going on. HLX. What's this? HLX. Helix Energy Solutions. Nice pop right off of the long-term gap. It goes back. How long does this go back? This goes back to 3/17 of 2016, so over a year ago. And what do you got there? Yeah, it's a nice bounce off that gap area, acting as support. Volume is picking up a little bit compared to Friday. What did you have? 1.8 and 2.2. Got 2.7 million shares. So that is kind of moving a little bit. Helix Energy Solutions. Not exactly sure what those guys do. Let's see what else is going on out here. not a lot. HLF is the stock to be short today, at least one of them. This thing had a nice top, and it's fallen apart on news today. Let's get back to this. Come on. I don't know why the internet's so slow today. Okay. Anyway, you double topped up here May 22nd, 73.61. You got to 74.32, and this thing just kind of rolled back over and down. Volumes at least matching May 23rd's $67.73 low. You got that already today, so you could break that. There's a fairly decent gap with some up volume on a huge short squeeze that was 6.5 million shares back to May 5th. My guess is you're going to at least see 64 on this, if not more. And fair disclosure, we are short this in the newsletter. I think about, I don't know, I think my average is around mid 73s. What else do we have? I think that's about it. Let's go look at some of the other ones I have been checking on. Caterpillar is the first. We talked about this on Friday. And it did kind of the same thing it did Friday again, a little bit more so, and that is a light volume test of this previous high. Today, 2.8 million shares going into that 4.2 million shares going into the April 26th high that had 18 million shares. So again, huge volume push. This thing's back up into these with lighter volumes. And today, what do we have? Yeah, 2.7. Yeah, so kind of a light. You had 4 million shares on the 31st. But again, continues to be rather light. You can give me a call at 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. And, of course, you can always put a message in the den if there's something you want me to look at. My first email today is looking at the UNG. Again, I don't see anything that says that this is not going to test the $6.48 low from February 27th. It's got 14 million shares. I mean, you got some nice light volume out here. It's not like the bottom's probably going to fall out anytime soon. But again, as more and more production comes here in the United States, the more and more they're going to push whatever natural gas they have out if it can make them an extra dime on it. And I don't see anything changing out here. Energy off the top is already more than it was from the bottom to the top off that February 27th low. So at best, a consolidation if it gets down to just under that 650 mark. So not a lot to see in that. XLE, question to see that. Take a quick look. Now, this is probably the best news in this sector, and that is you had a May 4th low come in with 34 million shares. You've had about half that for the last few days. Today, just 8 million shares, and this thing needs to close back above the 65.83 to get a bottom in. This chart does not look fairly good, but from my viewpoint, energy did kind of come down a little bit off that May 15th high. You've got a test with lighter volume out here with about half for the most part down at these lower levels. So you could still see a lot going on in the in this sector. It's literally the chart does not look that bad. I think we talked about when. I want to look at Whirlpool because it broke higher, which would suggest something else is going on. It needed about 1 million shares, got about 800,000 shares. If you really go back to the January 25th, you need 1.3 million shares. It may just come in with that 1.3 million share level there. We also were looking at Win on Friday with its double top, came in very light. Spike on April 26th had 7 million shares, got into it with just 1.15 million shares on Friday, day before 1.3 million shares. So again, just whiffing up here at these high levels. The XLF is just doing nothing, isn't it? Just in a big triangle that hasn't broken out of yet. XPO, which is XPO Logistics, looks like one that could have had a valid breakout today. It needed 5 million shares from the February 26th high. Today it is got a great candle, but just a little less than half that volume as we look through today. See if there's anything else out here. We'll pick up a few more. Look at some airlines and come back. Man, these things look about as good as they can get. No volume today, though, in AAL. Anyway, give me a call, 877-927-668. Email me at path@tfnn.com and put a message in there.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're back. Just really tough finding a lot of stuff moving. Go bounce around a little bit. Delta Airlines, we had a call on airlines, and I thought maybe this was about as good as it was going to get. Need somewhere around 14 million shares just to tie previous highs in Delta Airline in the mid-51s. On Friday, you had 11, let's call it 12 million shares today. A doji out here with this 5.5. Again, energy off this low going back to April 13th. Not all that exciting in the energy compared to March 1st down to the March 22nd low. So, light volume doji out here. You tested the previous high on lighter volume. Looks problematic. Let's take a look at AAL. Need 10 million shares from the December 9th high, $54.44. On Friday, we spiked it with 7.7 million shares. Today, let's call it 3 million shares. So, again, just not a lot of juice, not a lot of movement either. But you got to be a little worried out here. Markets are kind of thin, and you're going to hope that the market bounces your way. Just to see what else do we have out here. I wanted to see some other ones. SCS, which is steel case. This is kind of an interesting canary in the coal mine stock, because normally it gives you a little heads up at what's happening in the business environment when they're putting up new offices and shoving new people in cubicles. Steel case makes a lot of money. When those are getting closed down and no orders come in, it can be a long, long time, especially for the sales people at Steelcase. Anyway, you had a nice little spike out here on December 30th with 1.7 million shares. You went into it on Friday with half the volume on it. You're pulling back today, at least on a lighter volume, but a fairly decent-sized candle and kind of a little reversal pattern up here at this $18 level, back down to the $15 level. Going to watch a couple of days and see if any volume comes in this, but that would be one of the first canaries to fall over dead. You would want to worry a bit. See, we looked at Netflix, Amazon, Apple. What else have we looked at? See, let's look at a stinker in tech, which is IBM. Absolutely nothing. This thing's done nothing but go sideways for the last 5 days, and today it's going sideways again on, 1.6 million shares. So no read on that one. Let's take a quick look at Micron. Micron's earnings are at the end of the month. You got a little spike out here. Really not a whole lot of sign of strength. You did have this March 24 spike at almost $30 with 107 million shares. You're slightly going over it, but mostly with like 20 million shares, 20, 18. What do we have today? 18.6 with a little doji out here. So these are starting to get somewhat worrisome. Energy off the last low is not all that bad, May 17th. But the question is this run a little bit too far, too fast? Let's take a quick look at Intel since we looked at AMD. Apple doing nothing, 153.81. I'm watching the live feed. They're showing all the new stuff from Apple. They're showing some stuff that looks like Apple Maps that's as good as Google Maps after all these years, but not much. Some VR stuff. Doesn't look like anything exciting to me, but maybe they'll save it for the last thing. A lot of dog and pony going on at Apple today. 153.81 is the last tick. Let's see what else do we have going on here. And we're off $1.55 on the S&P, off 4 on the NASDAQ. So again, just not much happening. 1.8 billion shares. Let's go back and look through some of the stuff that went on last week. See how these things moved on. Wanted to see how Nielsen was doing. We've been talking about this. Maybe a company that could easily go away, and you just never know when. This had a huge down spike on April 25th. $38.31, 9 million shares. Got into it with 3 million shares. We talked about this last week, but it's not been able to do anything other than just go sideways. which is, I'll give it 3 days. After 3 days, I would get out of it. You got a light volume test at the low, but you've got no reaction. That does tend to mean that it is going to go the other way. Smart sand. What do we think? We looked at that. Let's take a look at wind. This has been a proxy for the Chinese. You had your gap up on Thursday or Wednesday last week. On Thursday last week. That's the first. Volume was decent, 4 million shares. You went sideways. Friday, 2.3 million shares. Today, just 1 million shares on a little doji out here. This thing looks like it could come back to 130 with no problem. And it's got a lot of gaps down below. This run has not been all that exciting for me when I looked at the volumes on a daily basis. Got a request to look at the XLF real quickly, see if there's anything in that. Of course, next week we've got the Fed on Wednesday. So what do we got? 7-9 days. So what do we have in this? No volume move out here today. And this was scary light in this ETF. Just 27 million shares. We had 83 million shares on Friday. So give you an idea that this thing's not making a big signal. But one of the signals that is coming is kind of like the dog that didn't bark, because this thing is not barking or hunting or anything else today. We looked at the XLE, the XLF. Let's take a look at the SMHs. This is probably the most stretched this has been in years. You got a little higher today at 87.46. Volume is 1.7 million shares compared to 1.3 million shares on Friday. So you are higher, and the volume has kind of picked up just a little, but there's not that much going on. Your last high volume day was the 17th of May with 6.3 million shares. And on any failure, that low of that day has to be a target, which is $81.53. But just not much happening. Let's take a look at the SOX with 2 X's. This is the same thing. Not much change in this. Just light and variable. Friday you had 432,000 shares. Today, just half that so far. Just 200,000 shares. Got an hour and a half left to go. Is that right? Wow. It is going to be a light day. 1.825 billion shares. It's a snooze fest.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you like it does me, visit everbank.com/TFNN to find out what they can do for you. Again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. Visit them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile based scanner in the industry. Powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Had a question to look at Yahoo. Is there any play out here? Any chance this thing blows up? And the answer is no. This thing's just going to go out at this price point, and that's pretty much it. Marissa Myers, who did pretty much nothing all the time she was CEO, walked away with $240 million in compensation, and I don't know what else you can say about that. Yeah, I mean, this is all Alibaba now, EABA. See what we see in that. Kind of the same thing, isn't it? They're probably going to be mirror images of each other. This thing has gone sideways since the close of May 19th. And for $124 stock, this thing is way not having any kind of juice whatsoever. So I don't know what else you could say about that. That's the 24th. Let's take a look at the 24th out here. It's auto parts. This thing gapped down. I wanted to see how it was coming back in. You had your first day down with 3.9 million shares. The second day down with 6 million shares. So that 129, 130 area needs to be tested. Friday, we were up on 1.2 million shares. Today, 800,000 shares, a little lower. So I don't know if there's anything that you can look at in that one. See, ACIA. Nothing in that one. I'm really going to be fishing out here. Alliance Data Systems look like it could test the 232.81 low, but it looks like it's going to do it with a little bit more juice. That May 18th low had 750,000 shares in it. You only have 400,000 shares today, but Friday you had more than enough on that, so that 232 is open. Watch that one. Air Methods being bought out. Don't need to look at that one anymore. Autoliv. This one's back up against its 115.81 high from January 26. You had 1 million shares there. Into it today with 400,000 shares. You got a couple of gaps this thing has already gone through. Auto Nation. This one did bounce off the lows with lighter volume, but again, not a lot of kind of juice. What was that? Thursday, you had 1.66 million shares. Not a bad bounce. It's this. There's just nothing here yet to signal anything that looked good. BAC, Bank of America, this thing's been bouncing off the $22 level a few times. Now, you had more than enough volume to really break this on, the 31st. March 27th, 120 million shares. You kind of almost got in there April 7th and bounced on light volume, but you came back down in the May 17th low with 190 million shares. You know that's going to get retested. You had even enough volume on May 31st. This thing has just gone sideways. So I don't know if this says anything about Bank of America other than the fact that there's some juice in this one down at the lows. And it all kind of came once on that 17th of May. I don't see anything that changes that. And again, without any kind of word from the Fed, we're looking from a week from Wednesday. I'm not looking for those financials to do anything until then. Maybe they'll run before it, but I don't. When I looked at them this morning, I didn't get the sense that anybody wanted to buy them going into the Fed meeting. I think everybody's betting on just two moves. The ProShares Dow 30, the dog, down a little bit, just 270,000 shares on Friday, but just 106,000 shares today. So again, we continue to see a lot of these ETFs with little or no volume. FDC, which is First Data Corporation, making a new high. Let's go back here on a year. This thing's got a gap that it just went back through. Okay, we're going back to November 11th, 2015 on First Data FDC. $17.99, 2 million shares. And you had 12 million shares just a day or so ago. So you had everything you needed to break this out. Doesn't seem like a lot of follow through though. FFIV, which is F5 Networks, wanted to see how this one did. It did come back, test its sign of strength back on the 27th of October. That had 5 million shares. You went into it with 1.2 million shares. So you know you were going to get at least a little bit of a bounce. But man, there's just not a whole lot here. Friday you had 500,000 shares today, and a little under 400,000 shares so far. So, man, at best, we're going to go sideways on no volume. At worst, you're going to start selling off with no volume and maybe not a lot of people to buy this thing on the pullback. GNRC, which is Generac Holdings. Again, we now have started the hurricane season, and this is one to keep a big watch on. Anything that looks like a hurricane that might hit land in the United States is always a big mover of this stock. You may want to write this one down, and the first hint of someone saying something's going on, start watching that stock with a very sharp eye. You can make some very quick money on this one if you're on the right side of it and get it started. Again, this company has made billions on hurricanes and one of the best plays. Boo? Boo what? I think I was... Okay. What else do we have? Take a look at, oh, we already looked at that. Let's take a look at HOV from last week. Didn't react well to the earnings. And on Friday, a huge volume day, down 3.3 million shares on the second today. Fairly light volume, but at least back to the low of Friday, which is June 2nd. $2.04 is the January 20th low, 2.33 million shares. So what do you got in that? Not a whole lot. Let's take a quick look at JCPenney. Thing got hammered on earnings. Couple gaps down. $4.17 was the low. It's been trying to get back up into this gap. That gap came down with 87.4 million shares Today we got about 11.4 million shares. You had a decent day on the 1st with 71.5 million shares, but again, still going to be 15 or so million shares light for that day of the 12th. Well, we got one segment left. Gives you a lot of time to email me or call 877-927-6648, path@tfnn.com, or post a message in the day.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to the Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we're looking at analog devices for John. And I guess he's in Orlando, somewhere around Orlando. ADI, this thing has come down. It spiked higher, sold off all the way down to $78.43 today, which is the bottom of this gap up from the 18th of May. You gapped up on that day on 5 million shares. You're already down on 6.4 million shares. That opens up the next low, which is $74.65. Number of these stocks starting to look rather weak. Got a request to look at coals real quick. A lot of bottom fishing, I think, seems like people talking about here in the emails today. I don't know what you can see other than the high volume low at 35.60 where you need to see the test. There's no risk reward for a long or a short play, either one. I don't know what you do about that. We looked at a few airlines at the beginning of the show. We'll look at Love out here today. Tried to buck through its previous high of 5.75 million shares back on March 1st. Did that on the 25th of May with 6.6 million shares. So you had enough to break out, pulled back into the trading range. Today you're trying to go through that same high that you tried to on Friday with 5.3 million shares. Today it's just with 3 million shares, although it looks like it's going to hold it like it didn't on Friday. But volume very weak in the entire markets out here. See if there's anything else. Mondelez, this little rocket, is trying to break through the $47 August 6th, 2015 high. That had 24 million shares. You're into it with 6.8 million shares so far. So not a lot happening on that one. Let's see what we have out here on a few other ones. Got a late request here to look at NVDA. Well, it's another day higher, 17.4 million shares compared to 22 million shares on the 31st. So again, you're higher, not a lot of juice. You've got two gaps down below. Your risk is to 107 on this thing on any kind of stumble. I think this could come back fairly quickly on it. It's in the hottest sector, probably a month, maybe 6 weeks, maybe 2 months before when this thing probably really is going to start getting a lot of competition. But a lot of times you sell before all that comes along if you're on Wall Street. One other one to look at, which is the Sears Holdings. Yeah, I commented about this one as, it's one of these stocks that perpetually bounces and takes more and more short people's money. It's just tough to be short a stock like this, waiting for the day that it does die. Certainly significant energy on this way back up. You had a spike to 990. It's coming back down. Eventually this thing's bankrupt. It's like Radio Shack and the rest of these. There's just, the thing is, how long do you want to sit around and watch a stock die? I don't know if you can make money. And of course, all the time you're doing that, they're planning ways to run you out of the short position with all kinds of phony fake news about stocks like Sears and BlackBerry and the rest. You just kind of know that that's not happening. We don't have time to look at it. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Request to look at Yang out here, which is the direction bearer for China. We won't get to it today. We'll get to it tomorrow. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. We'll see you here tomorrow, hopefully with some volume in the market.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.